Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. And today, well, this is going to be a test of my skills and capabilities, I guess. This reel has come in from Edward. It is in pieces and parts. And, well, I can't even find the right schematic because the model number is kind of worn off the reel, scratched off the reel. So I'm just hopeful that well, we can put this one back together. I have a spring laying here. I think I can identify that one as the flipper switch spring. Looks like Edward has given me a whole bunch of pieces and parts here. Something that this fell out from inside the case is wonderful. Okay. And, well, at its base, it is a Quantum Accurist S3. And, well, we're going to get started here. Now, how do you get started on something like this? It's just, I guess one question is, how does it get to this point? And second one is, how do you get started on it? Well, I did my best to locate a left-handed Quantum. This is not the S3, as best I can tell, but at least it shows an exploded diagram of how a Quantum looks when all the pieces and parts are back together again. And we're going to try and use this as the basis for the reinstallation. Quite honestly, I don't know where that pin is. It's fell out from inside the case, but I guess we're going to try and find that out. All right. Well, sometimes it's just a matter of doing a lot of using your accumulated knowledge that you've got from working on these types of reels. Sometimes I think it's a matter of luck. Let's take off what's not off already. I usually recommend taking pictures. Well, I think that may have helped in this case if the pictures were taken. I think I got a problem right away with this handle screw. So the handle screw should be a reverse thread. When I take these parts off, I'm going to put them into a parts tray, and I'm going to encourage you right now as I take these apart to subscribe to my channel if you like, well, sometimes if you like just doing some understanding and work on fishing reels, how they're made, how they come apart, how they go back together again, how they get serviced, and the like. If you like that, well, I'm going to try to do that today. Not all of these are straight services. Some of these are trying to help out channel viewers that got started on a service and were unable to complete it for whatever reason. And that's probably what this is going to be about. And I really don't mind it. A lot of people ask me, you know, geez, why do you do this kind of thing? Well, I encourage folks to work on their own reels. I was just talking to a fellow, one of the major reel manufacturers, who said, you know, the less expensive reels, he used the word cheaper, not me, but the less expensive reels, well, by the time you send them off to get serviced in pieces and parts and the like, they just simply cost too much to repair, so they really become throwaway. I would agree with that, but you know what, if you know how to service these, if you have a sense of how they work, well, for the most part, you should be able to keep yours running for a long time to come, and that includes the minor services of the reel. All right, well, that side plate came off. I'm not sure how much that was on. I want to see if we can't get this out. Not at this point. Okay, there's something jamming it over here, no doubt. If this is what I think it is, oh, we should be okay. I was thinking that may have been bent in there. If that was bent, anything that's bent on these, you're going to find a hard time with pieces and parts. All right, so take your pictures, and that should help you to at least establish some basis of this. This is your flipper switch, I know that. There's a side plate screw here. We're going to take all of these and put them in a parts tray. I use a fast food container for a parts tray. And if I haven't finished the recommendations here about the subscribing to my channel, well, you're going to see things like this. More importantly, you'll see the basics of service across all kinds of fishing reels. That includes freshwater, saltwater, current reels, and vintage reels, spinning reels, bait casting reels like this one, and others. And I see what's exploded here, and we're out of luck right away. That one pin, well, we've got a whole bunch of pins here. That's your anti-reverse. And I don't think we have an anti-reverse. Here we do. Here it is. I don't know if I can get those pins back in here. Well, I guess we can give it a try. I'm going to see if there's a way to order that piece. If there isn't, well, we're out of luck right from the beginning. I'm just going to put those here for a moment and see what we got. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sounds like an odd number. This would be the 7th one here. And hopefully they didn't drop any more out of here. So if I did, I don't think we're going to have an instant anti-reverse on this reel. We may need to order one. Okay, fell out of the case. There's 7, here's 8 over here. Treasure hunt. Maybe it's 8. All right, those would belong on the alternate pieces here in this ring. Where's the outer ring? Well, the inner ring is inside here, so let's see if we can push that through. Guess that's one of the issues. It's probably pressed into the case here. All right. Well, the idea behind this is we just want to load these into the spots that are missing them, one by one. You should be able to press these in, and to some extent they should hold. I think if we get the collar, place that in here, that may help. This is how the piece stops on the instant anti-reverse. Very tricky because they tend to fall out. So you need to kind of hold everything together as you do this. Up like that. Okay, I think we have them all in here. The next stab at this is to try and get this inside the ring here. It looks like it may have to come through the top. Okay, we've got it in, and I'm testing it, and I think we'll be okay. We're going to find out. I'm going to just leave that all together there for now. Let's take the gears off of that. This is where it's important to note the assembly instructions for the posts. We have the posts, the washer, the click ratchet. The click ratchet orientation needs to be where it's going to kick back the dog, which is here, the free spool release. Then we have the hard washer. Then we have the main gear. Let's inspect the main gear. If you have any questions whatsoever, let's move some of these main gear assembly off the side. You want to take a bristle brush and pull through the teeth. This is an aluminum gear. Get that cleaned. Before we put that on, let's take our pinion gear assembly off. You have your two springs here. Let's make sure we put those right into the case. And I guess we're going to figure out right now that that's the issue with this reel, is the pinion gear is frozen to the spool. Push the spool through and pull out on your pinion gear. Remove the spool from the other side. So I don't know what happened to this reel. We've got a lot of dirt and grease and grime and junk in this. That won't prevent us from putting it back together again. But again, inspect the pinion gear side of this. Let's grab the grease brush and get it a fresh coat of grease. If the reel was dirty in here, you would clean it. This one is okay. When you go to reset the assembly here, look for the ramps. The ramps face in, as does the slot in the pinion gear. And then we can reset that into the carrier. Just like that. We can put those springs on. And actually, I think what I want to do here, if I can, before I start playing around with those springs, put this flipper switch on. So the flipper switch has one terminal that goes into the hole in the override. The other piece goes into the hole in the back of the flipper switch. Probably has to be done the other way here. Find a hole in the back of the flipper switch, bring that in, bring it onto the hole in the ride, and then just set it. So that should be your flipper switch. Okay, I believe I've installed the flipper switch correctly by putting the spring there in the location. It looks like it's the right piece. It needs to be held down, I think, but for now I don't think there's the pressure of the side case to do that. Okay, let's go put the main gear on. You want to grease that. Bring that in and mesh that with your pinion gear. Bring the springs for the yoke. Let's take a look at the diagram for our drag washers then. Looks like we have two that have the hole and one solid. I believe that it's the bigger one first. And we have the flat washer. You should have the wide washer again. This time the one with the 4 studs. And they mesh with the slots in the main gear. Then we have the top washer. And the cap washer. Then we have the inner piece for the anti-reverse. I think if I've done that correctly now, that's the inside of the reel. We should be able to put the case on after we clean that. We already have the anti-reverse, to the best of our knowledge, capable of working. I'll oil the back bearing. Now we should be able to place this over and secure it. What I'm concerned about right now is that flipper switch, and of course that anti-reverse. Got a couple of things to line up here, but with any luck we'll get it. When you go to do that, make sure that your case is sealed. Appears to be. Reverse it. Let's continue with this, and we'll see where we can take this. Okay. Next up, we want to put those side plate screws back in. It was the one that I removed here on the front end, so let's put that back in. At least we know that one should hold it. Once you get the first one in, I guess we can go here. It says top left case, top right case, so we know at least some of this was labeled. Hold this the top left case. And we have the pieces here. This one calls for a washer and then a bearing. Okay, next there's a small washer that I just put over the top of that. Now we have the noisemaker, the cap. There's a tension washer inside of it. It's concave. It doesn't want to come out. There we go. Alright, the clicker goes next. This is concave. Belly up on the first. Belly down on the second. Then our star adjuster can go on. I guess we can put the cap on for the spool tensioner right now. And we can put our star adjuster on. Remember, this is a left-handed side reel, so it's going to roll forward. Do as much of that by hand as you can. You should hear it start to click. If you're having any trouble with that, get the handle. Easy enough for me to say. Can't find it. There we go. Tighten down the handle. And there's a little handle washer that jumped off before. That would be this one. That just prevents the star adjuster from making jamming in with the handle. Okay, now our handle screw goes on. Just take your time with this one. It is a reverse thread. Make sure that you put that on nice and square and tighten that up. And generally, if the flat side is perpendicular to the hole set screw side, this cap should fit. Nope, we're off a little bit. We need a little bit more on the tighten or the loosen. Let's go ahead and do that. You play with it, and there you go. You have that signed up. And then I found that that flat screw is the one that belongs here. Little screwdriver, bring that home. And now we should have a functioning drive side of the reel. At least we can hope we do. Yep, We got it turning. All right. Next up is the spool itself. Not sure what the line is inside the spool here. I guess that must have been somehow I loaded the braid. Hopefully that doesn't interfere. Oil that bearing. That's the best you can do. You can't replace this bearing. Let's put the spool back in now. Okay, we're turning. Oil the spool bearing on this side. Oh, picks up one up there. This should be a half turn. Top side, we'll find out. Sometimes they turn the opposite direction. Let's try from below. From below it is. Okay. Okay, so lots of lessons learned with this one. When you're taking off a reel, by all means, go get your schematic diagram. They're available widely on the web. This one came from realschematic.com. And, well, follow those. Take pictures along the way. And, well, you'll be able to take your reel apart, service it, and get it back running again. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. I want to thank our police, fire, safety, rescue, and everybody involved in public service for their support and their dedication to task. I want to thank everybody for staying with me on this one. This one's been a learning experience. It hasn't been the easiest one that I've worked on today, but maybe it's the most satisfying in that it's back together again, and we're able to give that one a second chance. Your Quantum Accurist S3, ready to go back fishing. I hope you've enjoyed that. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.